everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for tuning in. Alright, tonight we're going to do another band battle royale. This time I've picked 3 bands that have absolutely nothing in common, except for the fact that they are all rock bands of some sort. We have Metallica versus Pearl Jam versus Def Leppard. 3 bands that don't have much in common, but we're going to put them together and see who comes out on top in this one. So I'm going to try not to screw myself up. I don't own every Pearl Jam album, and I don't own the last Def Leppard album yet. So I'm going to try not to screw myself up with like what albums go against what albums when we get down the line there. But each of them have 11 studio albums. Pearl Jam's releasing their 12th one in April. Def Leppard, I'm not going to count retroactive, so if you don't count that, they have 11. So here we go. Let's get into this. This is the way it's going to work. We're going to put the first albums against each other. I'm going to choose which album I think is the best. That will win the first round. Then we'll go into the second albums, and we'll rinse and repeat all the way until we get to the end. Should there be a tie at the end, we'll go into overtime, which is when we'll take the 2 bands that tied, and we'll battle out the winning albums. So that's kind of how this goes. This is just all in good fun. You're more than welcome to play along in the comments if you disagree with my selections here. I'm sure you will at some point along the way, so you're more than welcome to play along in the comments and let me know how this would all work out for you. So round number 1, we got the debut albums. Kill 'Em All, 10, On Through the Night. This one's a pretty easy one for me, actually. My least favorite of the bunch is On Through the Night. It's alright, I never quite got the love for it. It is kind of heavier and harder rocking than most of what came after it, but I just always kind of felt like a lot of it just sort of ran together for me. So it's not going to be that one. So between these two, it's a really cool album. Thrashy. Not really a thrash guy. You know, I love Metallica, but I'm not like a thrash metal nerd or anything like that. I think 10's the best album in this one. I would take 10. This album's pretty much perfect grunge, early 90s album. Once, Even Flow, Alive, Black, Jeremy. Songs that you all know. Why Go, Porch, some of my favorite deep cuts on here. So I'm taking 10 to be the winner of round number 1. Alright, so now we have round number 2. Ride the Lightning versus High and Dry. That kind of almost sounds like it's Ride the Lightning versus High and Dry, but no, versus is actually the album. So, again, this is a popular one amongst Def Leppard fans. I like it better than the first album, but I kind of like some of the popular Def Leppard. That to me is Def Leppard. I get why the popular stuff's not popular. I get why this is. I definitely prefer these 2 albums over it, though. So, Ride the Lightning and Versus. What's the better album? Gosh, I don't know. This one is just so super solid. And a step up from Kill 'Em All, which was awesome in its own right. This one feels like a continuation of 10 to me. Maybe not quite. I used to like Versus better than 10, but maybe I don't like it quite as much now. It's still really good. It's really close. There's a couple songs on here maybe you could do without. This one is solid. I don't think there's anything you'd want to cut off this. For that reason, I'm going to give it to Ride the Lightning. I'm going to say Ride the Lightning wins round number 2, but Versus is still a really strong album. Round number 3. We have Master of Puppets, Vitology, and Pyromania. All 3 of these are really good. This one is just sort of a pop rock, early hair metal kind of perfection. This album sounds fantastic. Photograph and Rock of Ages are classics. Rock Till You Drop, Stage Fright, Too Late for Love, Die Hard the Hunter, Billy's Got a Gun. Fantastic stuff. A lot of essential Pearl Jam stuff on Vitology. Last Exit, Spin the Black Circle, Not For You, Corduroy, Better Man. A few songs on here you don't need in my opinion. Metal, Perfection. I gotta give it to Metallica again. I mean, these, as awesome as these 2 albums are, this is about as perfect as thrash metal gets in my opinion. About as perfect as Metallica gets. My 3 favorite Metallica songs kick this thing off: Battery, Master of Puppets, and The Thing That Should Not Be. And from there, you still got Sanitarium, you still got Disposable Heroes, you still got Orion, you still got Damage Incorporated. So I gotta give it to Master of Puppets. Round 4, we have Justice for All, No Code, and Hysteria. Hysteria is just one of them albums where about every song on here is a hit single. You hear them all on the radio. Some of them I am so sick of, like Love Bites and Pour Some Sugar on Me. I never want to hear those songs again. Not crazy about Women either. It's just I never cared for it as an opener. I don't care for it as a track that much. I'm tired of Hysteria, but there's songs on here I still like. I still like Rocket. I still like Animal. I still like Armageddon. I still like Gods of War. I still like Run Riot. So, still some stuff on here. Kind of an experimental Pearl Jam album. I really love Hail Hail. It's my favorite Pearl Jam song. Who We Are, Off He Goes. Lucan, Habit is really cool. Mankind, Around the Bend. So you got some cool stuff on here. Third or fourth Metallica classic in a row. I love this one too. Lightning, Puppets, and Justice. That is a heck of a trilogy. Blackened, title track. Eye of the Beholder, so underrated. Shortest Straw, One, To Live Is to Die. I gotta go Metallica again. I gotta go Metallica. These two are good. I would take No Code over Hysteria, but I gotta go Justice for All on that one. Alright, round number 5, we have the Black Album, Yield, and Adrenalize. Alright, so again, I like all these albums. Adrenalize, it's not as overplayed as Hysteria, but it feels pretty much like Hysteria 2.0. I like Let's Get Rocked still. I love Heaven Is. I love White Lightning, Stand Up, Kick Love, and Emotion. I could do without Have You Ever Needed Someone So Bad. But I like Tear It Down. This one, I mean, some people love it, some people hate it. I think it's just another perfect album from Metallica from start to finish. Yes, Enter Sandman is well overplayed, but you got Sad But True, you got Holier Than Now, The Unforgiven, Don't Tread on Me, Through the Never, Kind of Burn Out on Nothing Else Matters. Not crazy about My Friend of Misery either. Struggle Within's really good. Solid album, sounds fantastic. Pearl Jam, this is my favorite Pearl Jam album right here. Yield. Aside from Do the Evolution, I think this album is pretty much flawless. Never been a crazy fan of Do the Evolution, but you got Brain of J, you got Faithful, Given to Fly, Wish List, Low Light. I love Low Light. MFC, In Hiding, all those yesterdays. Again, I think Def Leppard's the odd one out here, so it comes down to these two. I'm going to give a slight advantage to the Black Album over Yield. Slight advantage. Metallica's dominating this one. I thought this would be closer. Alright, so here we go. Round 6. We've got Load, Binaural, and Slang. First one I can eliminate right off the bat is Slang. I'm not a fan of that album. I like Truth, and I like... kind of like All I Want's Everything a little, you know, that one's alright, and Work It Out's really good. The rest of that album is I'm not into it. This one, I like the way this one starts off. The first couple tracks, Break or Fall, God's Dice, Evacuation, Light Years. This one really falls off at the end. Anything past Nothing As It Seems to me just gets to be forgettable. I am a fan of this album. I know many people are not, but I think Load is a fantastic album. Had it been released by any other band, had some band come out and released Load in 1996 as their debut album, it would be thought of as a classic 90s album. But because it's Metallica, because it's not metal, it gets crapped on. But this is a fantastic album. I love it, and I love it a lot more than I love this. So Metallica wins yet again. I'll tell you what, Pearl Jam and or Def Leppard have got to start winning some matches here, or Metallica's going to run away with it. Next up we have Load. This is round 7. We have Load, we have Ride Act, which I don't own, and we have Euphoria. I do like this album. I think this one's kind of underrated. Yes, it's a poppier album. It kind of brings back the Hysteria, Adrenalize vibe that Slang kind of lost, but I like this one. There's some good stuff on here. Demolition Man, Promises, Back in Your Face, Paper Sun, It's Only Love, To Be Alive, Disintegrate's kind of cool. Basically, get rid of All Night, which is terrible, And this album's pretty solid in my opinion. I like it quite a bit, but I don't like it as much as Reload. So Reload's gonna win again. And Riot Act is my least favorite Pearl Jam album, so Riot Act would probably be the first one I would eliminate anyway. Reload wins for Metallica again. This is turning brutal here. Round 8. We have Saint Anger, Pearl Jam, and X. Whew. Well, Pearl Jam's definitely the best album in this one, without a doubt. Life Wasted, Worldwide Suicide, Comatose, Severed Hand, Marker in the Sand. And it does kind of tail off for me after those first 5 songs, like Binaural, but the rest of this album to me is still enjoyable to listen to, whereas Binaural just, I've kind of begun tuning it out. This one still holds its own, even though it is front-loaded, but I think this one easily smokes these two. Sounds a lot better than Saint Anger. And this one's too poppy. I mean, Def Leppard, say what you want about pop Def Leppard, I like a lot of it, but this one is too poppy and the songs just aren't there. I do like Unbelievable, I do like Cry, but beyond those two, the rest of it I'm just not crazy about. So I even probably actually prefer Saint Anger to X, if I'm being honest with you. So Pearl Jam is going to win that one. I'm not even sure if Pearl Jam can even come back and win this at this point, but Def Leppard can't. I don't know if Def Leppard could win these last couple rounds out, and I don't think they could win. So, where are we at now? This is round 9. Death Magnetic, Songs from the Sparkle Lounge, and Backspacer. This is a tough one. This is probably like the closest battle we've had in a while between like all 3 albums. The odd one out to me is actually Death Magnetic, and I like this one. I love That Was Just Your Life. I think this one feels a lot closer to Saint Anger than the rest of Metallica's catalog, but it does fix a lot of the problems Saint Anger had. It has some problems of its own with the production and the loudness and whatnot, but it does fix the snare sound. I think the songs generally are better than the ones on Saint Anger. The songwriting's better, the solos are back, so it is improvement over Saint Anger, but it is my least favorite of this round. So you got Songs from the Sparkle Lounge versus Backspacer. I love both albums. This is my favorite Def Leppard album. Backspacer, I ranked it as my second favorite Pearl Jam album, but either way, it's my favorite post-90s Pearl Jam album. The only song on here I don't like is Love. No pun intended. Go is awesome. 9 Lives. I really loved 9 Lives when it came out, and it was with Tim McGraw, and it was fresh off that Bon Jovi doing the song with Sugarland, and then they did a song on Lost Highway with Leanne Rimes, and they sounded more like Sugarland and Leanne Rimes songs than they did Bon Jovi songs. So to have Tim McGraw come on board and do a Def Leppard song that sounded like Def Leppard, I was actually happy about. Tomorrow's really cool. Cruise Control, Hallucinate, Only the Good Die Young, Bad Actress, Come Undone, Gotta Let It Go. This album is so overlooked, it's not even funny. And this is probably the most rockin' album since Pyromania. I think it is. I think this is a fantastic album. I gotta go with Def Leppard. Backspacer is awesome. Def Leppard's gonna win this one for me. Alright, next up we have round 10. Hardwired to Self-Destruct. We have Lightning Bolt, which I don't own, and Def Leppard. So, this one, both of these actually, and Lightning Bolt, hey, all 3 of these have the exact same problem. Half of it I love, half of it I could do without. This one, almost perfectly, I like the first half and dislike the second half. If you would take Spit Out the Bone from the second disc and replace it with Now That We're Dead from the first disc, then it would be like the perfect split. First half, first disc, incredible. Second disc, forgettable. Atlas Rise, Moth into Flame, Dream No More, all fantastic songs. Spit Out the Bone, like I said, is the real highlight of the second disc. So, the rest of it, though, I think the rest of this too, just largely forgettable. I'm not crazy about Now That We're Dead. Too many songs on here. Def Leppard's really overbloating these last 2 albums of theirs. I really do like Let's Go. I love Dangerous. Man Enough is cool. We Belong, Invincible, All Time High, Last Dance. But a lot of the songs down on the second half of this one to me are just like, they're okay, but they're just too much. It's too overbloated. And Lightning Bolt's the same way. Like I think Lightning Bolt is fairly front loaded with good songs like Getaway and Lightning Bolt and My Father's Son and Mind Your Manners, Sirens. I like Let the Record play down the stretch. Pound for pound, like the highlights, I mean they're all right there. Like this really good strong material in here. Really good strong material in here. Some of the best in years, really, from Metallica. Like I love that one song off Death Magnetic, but other than that, I think you're going back to Reload till you find songs I love as much as Moth into Flame. You know, this one had the makings. I mean, the structure was there to be as good as songs from Sparkle Lounge, and a lot of people probably feel that it is better. I just think it's too overbloated to be better. Just it's too puffed up with filler. And Lightning Bolt, really good stuff. So I think it comes down to like, what the weaker material, what can I tolerate more? And the first one I would eliminate on that basis would actually be Hardwired to Self-Destruct. So you got Def Leppard versus Lightning Bolt. Gosh, the strong material, I don't know, man, because I'm going to say something extremely unpopular here. My favorite Def Leppard song is Dangerous off this album. Yes, that's my favorite Def Leppard song. Yes, I was a Def Leppard fan before this album. So it's sort of unusual, and it's an unpopular thing to say for a band like Def Leppard to put out an album, and here I am saying that my favorite Def Leppard song of all time is on this album, Dangerous. I can't say that about Lightning Bolt, though My Father's Son is a banging track, and I love that song. It's one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs since the 90s. So pound for pound, like, you got the strong material, very strong on both. The weaker material, I think I'm going to go with Lightning Bolt as the winner of this round. I think if I had to play both albums and I couldn't skip anything, I had to sit and listen to the whole thing. I think I'd rather sit and listen to the weaker stuff on Lightning Bolt than the weaker stuff on here. So Lightning Bolt is going to win that round. Our last round here, and I don't own either. How did I screw this up? What album did I forget? Gigaton. Duh. I didn't forget anything. I'm right on track here. So 72 Seasons, Gigaton, which I don't own, and Diamond Star Halos, which I don't own. My opinion on Diamond Star Halos is exactly the same as it is on Def Leppard self-titled. Really strong material. Take What You Want, Kick, Fire It Up, SOS Emergency. Otherwise, too bloated, too filled out with stuff that doesn't need to be there. This is extremely overbloated as well. Maybe not in track number. I mean, there's 12 songs in here versus the 15 on Diamond Star Halos, but these songs are overly long in many cases. I have not really come back to this album much since it came out and was brand new. Even Diamond Star Halos, I kind of went back to the good songs, the songs on that one that I liked more than this. And the Gigaton didn't really leave much impression on me either. So I'm not really crazy about any three of these. I think my favorite of the bunch would have to be Diamond Star Halos, just because it has the most. It has the most that I liked and that I went back to. So I would take Diamond Star Halos, I guess, over 72 Seasons and Gigaton. So there we have it. Let's tally these up. I'm pretty sure Metallica won this pretty handily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Metallica. 3 for Pearl Jam and 2 for Def Leppard. So Metallica does win thanks to these awesome 6 albums right here, which I love every single one of these to death. And Pearl Jam and Def Leppard were unable to knock any of them off. So Metallica wins the battle for me. Let me know in the comments below how you would battle these out. Which of these bands is your favorite? If you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future, and I will see you in the next video.